Good morning everyone. Welcome back to the English main course session for class 3. So children, today we will read and understand the poem The Rainbow Fairies, which is written by Juliana Horatia Ewing. And it's a poem that depicts the beautiful relationship between the rain and the rainbow. We all know that whenever rain stops and sun begins to shine again in the sky, then rainbows appear. Rainbow, we all have seen, we all know what a rainbow is. It is a semicircular appearance of 7 colors in the sky. The 7 colors are violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. So let us read the poem and try to understand what the poet wants to tell us. Let us begin. 2 little clouds one summer's day went flying through the sky. Now the poem begins with the 2 little clouds. It was a summer day, and what happened? 2 little clouds were flying through the sky. They went so fast, they bumped their heads and both began to cry. Now what happened? These 2 clouds were flying very fast through the sky. They were so fast that they bumped into each other. They bumped their heads, they crashed their heads, or they bumped their heads into each other, and when they hit each other, they bumped their heads, they both felt pain, and due to this pain, they both began to cry. Now, old Father Sun looked out and said, "Oh, never mind, my dears, I'll send my little fairy folk to dry your falling tears." Now here, when the 2 little clouds began to cry because of the pain, old Father Sun appeared into the scene. When he appeared, he saw the 2 little clouds crying. Okay, and when he heard them crying, when he saw them crying, he felt sympathetic towards these crying clouds, and he said, "Oh, never mind, don't worry, my dears, you all are my dear and near ones, so don't worry, don't cry. I'll send my fairy folk, I will send my fairy group. Okay, I have fairy group, I have a group of fairies, I will send them to dry your falling tears. I'll send these fairies to what these fairies will do, they will dry your falling tears." Okay, one fairy came in violet. One fairy appeared and she was wearing a violet colored dress. Okay, it is a darker shade of blue. So one fairy appeared in and she was wearing a violet gown and wore indigo, and one wore indigo. The other fairy came, and this fairy, the new fairy, the second fairy, was wearing an indigo gown. Then came a blue fairy, a fairy who was wearing a blue gown. Then green, yellow, orange and red. So this way 7 fairies appeared with gowns of 7 colors. Okay, one fairy was wearing a violet gown, the other was wearing an indigo gown, the other blue, green, yellow, orange and red. They made a pretty row, and these 7 fairies with 7 different beautiful colored gowns, they made a pretty row. They made a cute row, or a queue, or a line. Okay, they wiped the tears all away. These 7 pretty colored fairies wiped out or cleaned the tears of the clouds. And then from out the sky, upon a light of sunbeam made, they hung their gowns to dry. Now when these 7 little fairies wiped away the clouds' tears, wiped away the tears of the clouds, then their gowns got wet, no? Naturally, when you use a cloth to wipe away a liquid or water or anything like that, any liquid basically, then the cloth gets wet, no? The cloth gets wet. Similarly, when these fairies wiped away the tears of the clouds, their gowns got wet. Right. So suddenly, when after wiping out the tears of the clouds, there appeared a sunbeam. Okay, a ray of sunbeam appeared and it took the shape of a semicircle. And when it took the shape of semicircle, all these fairies, they hung their gowns on this light, on the sunbeam, on the semicircular sunbeam to dry. And if you see the rainbow, a shape of rainbow, it feels like something is with some color is falling down. Okay, it appears. I hope you all must have seen the rainbow. And what is the appearance of the rainbow? It is a semicircular ray of light under which we see seven colors laid one after the other very neatly. So the poet says that it appears, when you see a rainbow, it appears as if the seven little fairies, after wiping the tears of the crying clouds, have hung their wet gowns to dry on a beam of light. Okay, understood. Give it a good reading, children. I hope you'll be able to understand the poem well. If you have any queries or any doubt, do ask in the comment section below. This was all for today. Thank you. Take care. Bye.